last night, we were all introduced to the news from multiple sources, beginning, I believe, with Variety, that Gina Carano is no longer part of Lucasfilm and will ostensibly no longer be part of Disney Star Wars and The Mandalorian and other shows going forward. Now, I made a video last night cautioning that the nature of this press release, quote-unquote, that really wasn't a press release. It was a statement saying that Gina Carano is not employed by Lucasfilm and has no plans to be in the future, which came from an anonymous source, supposedly at Lucasfilm. And I issued a warning of caution on this, as the language seemed a little funny. To date, there is still does not seem to be anything official having been released from Lucasfilm, although I could be wrong. Something may have come out just a moment ago that I've missed. But at this point, with the lack of response from Ms. Carano and no other conflicting information coming out, it seems the story is standing. And then we also have this, to where her talent agency, UTA, has also parted ways with Gina. Again, I think Gina had lost a PR firm some months ago as well. So again, in and of itself, doesn't mean anything. But when you start putting all these things together, it looks as if this story is going to bear out to be correct. I had hoped it wouldn't. I had some faith last night it wouldn't. I still think it's a little odd or underhanded the way the story was released. I do not like anonymous sources and things like this because half the time they turn out to be bogus. But we're going to assume for the moment that this story is now correct. And what is bothersome about this is the nature of why she is allegedly being let go when it is completely inconsistent with anything Disney Lucasfilm has done so far with other employees or contracts or people who are contracted with Lucasfilm for various jobs and positions. So, Gina Carano, this was, and I didn't have this last night when I made the video. Apparently, there was an Instagram post just yesterday that was removed shortly after, and I believe that here we are. So this was an Instagram post that she put up, and again, I read things as they are. I'm not going to try to interpret things. She posted, "Jews were beaten in the streets, not by Nazi soldiers, but by their neighbors, even by children. Quote, because history is edited, most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views?" In and of itself, this tweet is completely correct. This is an accurate historical statement, verifiable historical statement. This is the way that the National Socialist Party of Germany came to power and did what they did. They did not just take over power in the Weimar Republic in the 1930s on Monday and then on Tuesday start the mass executions and the atrocities that they committed, killing 10 million people. Now, some people want to extrapolate this into direct comparison to this is how this particular group of people are today or that particular, and that's up for debate, and that's a discussion that can be had. But what she posted, and this again is supposedly the post that got her, this was the straw that broke the camel's back, as it were, for Disney. This is an accurate statement. And I realize that some people, it's like this is a regular thing online where there's a constant routine hyperbolic comparison of things going on today versus things that went on with the National Socialist Party of Germany. I get that. It is a very, very overused analogy. However, there is merit that bears out to this. This is historically how most tyrannical governments begin. They begin by sowing the seeds of distrust in a society, pitting one group of people against another. They have to find a boogeyman, and then the boogeyman becomes the big problem. Government is the salvation. You make one set of people hate another set of people to the point where that set of people will largely do your dirty work for you. Now, obviously, the soldiers of the National Socialist Party of Germany committed the bulk of the crimes, but when it started out, this is historically correct. This is how it worked. And I do feel that there is certainly some very reasonable parallels that we can draw from that occurrence in history to not only what's going on today, but to many other occurrences in history. It's just the nature of how a tyrannical government comes to be. And again, I didn't start this channel to go into politics. It's the last thing I want to do. And I'm not doing that here. I'm simply stating what is historically correct. I started this channel because I wanted to have fun. I wanted to have fun. I wanted to talk about Star Wars. I was excited about the direction of Star Wars. I was excited, and I still am excited about Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. I've been a Filoni fan since Clone Wars and Rebels. I've been a Favreau fan for years. He's made some great movies, not only for Marvel. He's made some great independent films. My favorite of his is Chef. I think that is absolutely one of the best movies I've ever seen. I love that movie to death. I can watch it over and over. It is such a good story. This kind of stuff is a gut punch. And this is what bothers me the most, is the hypocrisy. This is a tweet from just a few months ago. From Pedro Pascal. Losers in 1865, the Confederacy. Losers in 1945, National Socialist Party of Germany. Losers in 2020, and we get a MAGA hat. Pedro Pascal in this tweet, which he did since remove, I believe, but Pedro Pascal in this tweet directly compared 75 million people in this country who voted one way as war criminals, as one of the most atrocious political bodies that's ever existed in the history of the world, that killed 10 million people. But this apparently was, relatively speaking, okay. Need anything else? Let's see. How about this one? From just about 2.5 years ago from Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal, Germany 1944, America 2018. Again, we're going to compare America to the National Socialist Party of Germany. Again. Now, can we have a debate on this? Can we discuss the merits of, is this a legitimate comparison? What are the relevant points? What is hyperbolic? Sure, we can have that discussion. And let me say this very clearly. I love Pedro Pascal. I've been a huge Pedro fan since I first saw Narcos drop on Netflix. I love that show, Narcos. I loved Pedro Pascal in it. When I found out that Pedro Pascal was going to be playing the title character in The Mandalorian, I was ecstatic. I was so excited. And I still like Pedro Pascal. I think he's a good actor. I think he plays his parts well, and I've liked his work consistently. Now, I don't agree with Pedro Pascal politically, but I don't care. I can compartmentalize that like any adult should be able to do and still enjoy his body of work. Although I will say, in the climate in this country that we have today, it is becoming more and more difficult because more and more of these Hollywood actors, or these entertainers in general, seem to have to feel like they have to come out and talk about all of their political views to everybody, and then in addition to it, tell you that if you don't agree with their political views, then you should just go piss off. I don't understand this. I don't understand how that's a good business model. But again, this didn't matter to Disney. Let's take another Disney employee. Here's Terry Moran. Terry Moran is an anchor on ABC News, comparing Trump to the Führer and the GOP to a personalized power like we've never seen. Again, here we go. We are taking a former president of the United States, whether you agree with him or not, and comparing him to actually Hitler. But this is okay for Disney. This gets on the air. This does not get punished. Meanwhile, Gina Carano, who makes a historical statement about how the National Socialist Party of Germany rose to power and how they manipulated a society to hate each other, this is a fireable offense. Now, Gina had pulled it down, again, as I believe, and that just should have been the end of it. Because that is what Disney has shown. This is how this works. right? If that's how it works for Pedro Pascal, if that's how it works for Terry Moran, if that's how it works for half the story group at Lucasfilm, the Justina Irelands and the Christina Ariel, I think I'm saying her name right. I apologize if I'm not. Have and I'm not going to bother pulling up the tweets. You can go look them up yourself. In fact, I think Pirates and Princesses has a great article on their website from a few weeks back that basically documented everything. I think Ichibaka did it. But the tweets that they have put out denigrating an entire race of people in this country repeatedly, calling them out by the race and making them a monolithic group and insulting, that is apparently okay at Disney. But what Gina does, and Gina has made no racist comments, okay? Gina has not called people National Socialists of Germany. And I keep saying that because you know how YouTube is with these algorithms. You start using you start calling them by their acronym, and the YouTube algorithms jump in and flag videos and all kind of stuff. So this is what's bothersome. It's the absolute inconsistencies that's going on, and it's unacceptable. And Disney really owes its fans a much better explanation than this. Maybe something else happened. Maybe Gina walked into the office and told them that they could all go do something anatomically impossible to themselves. I don't know. I don't know. But if this is the real reason, if this post is the real reason that she was canned from Disney, that Cara Dune was canceled, yeah, there's a reason that hashtag cancel Disney Plus is trending this morning. And that's just it. You know, I have not seen hashtags for fire Justina Ireland trending. I have not seen hashtags for fire Christina Ariel trending. I have not seen hashtags fire Pedro Pascal trending. I wouldn't support him if they were. Because somebody has to be the adult in the room. And when I say somebody, I'm not talking about just me. I'm talking about we have to have a society of adults. We have to have adults in the room. We need to be able to respect other people's political opinions. That doesn't mean that we can't disagree. That doesn't mean that we can't have adult conversations and debate. But, this level of triggered that we have now, and unfortunately it's mostly from one side. And it's mostly from, frankly, just the garbage mentality that's on social media sites like Twitter. Valiant Renegade is not on Twitter. Valiant Renegade ain't on Facebook. Valiant Renegade ain't on Instagram. I don't care about social media. Again, I got on YouTube to have fun and talk about Star Wars. Well, unfortunately, this is the conversation we have to have about Star Wars today. So it's very disgusting. I'm still waiting to see an official statement from Lucasfilm. I'd like to see some more details. Again, I don't like anonymous sources. I think it's a bunch of crap. And I'm trying to keep it calm. This morning, yesterday, late last night, 10 o'clock, put a video out. I had a good bit of NyQuil in me. I'm still dealing with a little bit of sinus infection. It is not the Tijuana cerveza virus. Again, YouTube algorithms got to find more clever ways to talk about that beer bug going around. But yeah, I'm I got a mouth on me, and I decided I kind of want to keep the YouTube channel a little bit cleaner as best I can. Last night, a little upset. Hell, even Doomcock got out there last night at midnight and dropped the video on this, and as a perfect segue, Doomcock thought that Gina's this post of Gina's, he found it offensive because it compared political goings on today to the atrocities, the actual mass murders of people. Which, look, again, that is one way to interpret this. I can understand that, and I think even Ben Shapiro, again, obviously Ben Shapiro is a Jewish man. And I love Ben Shapiro. I love his show. Real smart guy. Again, whether you agree with him politically or not. And I can understand from certain perspectives why they would think this is hyperbolic. I read this. I saw this. And again, what I saw was a comparison to events that can lead to terrible things, which is a correct statement of fact. It always begins somewhere. And recognizing that where we are as a society today, with the amount of hatred that has been programmed into so many people, and where this is going, it isn't a stretch to say that at some point down the road, like almost every other single tyrannical government in history, almost every other single one, it all starts somewhere. I think this is a relevant discussion point that she made. But again, certain people found this incredibly offensive. But here's the thing. Doomcock and Ben Shapiro and the other people that said, this was a little bit in poor taste, or it was poorly worded, or maybe she could have explained this a little bit better, kind of like what I was just talking about. None of them thinks that Gina should have been fired for it. And that's what I'm talking about. We need more adults like that in the room. We need more people that have a calm rationale that can have adult conversations. People like the Doomcocks, people like Ben Shapiro. And again, I'm just using those examples because they came out and talked about this last night. Those are the last two things I saw. So again, this is disgusting. And I think cancel Disney Plus is going to keep growing more legs today. But I'm waiting to see a statement because this can't hold up. And when it comes to our side, the sane side of things, we don't need to cancel people. We don't need to call for their firing. We simply do this. Close the wallet. That's the real cancellation. You vote with your wallet. And I'm voting with mine. And I'm a guy who in the last probably just 6 months has spent hundreds of dollars, if not more than that, on Disney products, Star Wars products, toys, because I've got kids. And it's not going to happen anymore, not as of right now. Not unless I see some better explanation or something what's going on, because at this moment, I don't have much faith in where this is going. And if this is the way that Disney wants to behave, if this is the company that they want to be, then I don't want to be a part of it anymore. I don't. And that's a shame. That's a shame. They took a lot of goodwill that they've built up and have decided to just toss a good bit of it out the window. It's disappointing. Take care.